Hi, this is Jon Wood from MMORPG.com. I'm standing here with Torfi Frans from CCP. He's the senior producer on EVE Online. We're here in Reykjavik, Iceland at the EVE Fanfest, which is an annual event that they have. And for the first few days, what we've been really hearing the most about and what people seem to be most excited about has been the Walking in Stations project that you guys have been working on. And we've been hearing about this from you guys for quite some time, but you're now getting sort of closer and closer to the deployment of this feature. So I guess, first of all, just for anyone out there who might not be familiar, can you just give us an overview of what Walking in Stations is?
Okay. So, I mean, in general, I guess people who go to MMORPG.com know that EVE Online exists. And so we've been running EVE for like 5 years. We've been developing it for 5 years. And we have a large community of like roughly 250,000 people. So back in the days when we were designing EVE, back in 2003, we were a small company of 30, 40 people. And we realized that we would never make a big MMO unless we really narrowed our scope. So we decided very early on, okay, which is going to be ships, space, fighting, and trading. And that's basically what it was. And then we grew it. We added agent missions, and we added like new types of ships and new manufacturing, tech tool, and all these things. We've grown the game iteratively as the years have progressed. Now it's 2008. We have loads of players. We have a great amount of developers, and it's actually quite interesting that a lot of MMO companies throw a bunch of developers on a title, then release it, and then pull all them off and like put a skeleton crew on it. But today there are more people working on EVE Online, more developers, coders, artists, game designers than ever did. So EVE Online, Walking in Stations is one of the expansions that we're working on right now. And what it's about giving the players a full-body avatar and the ability to exit their ships and go into space station and go to bars and corporation offices and socialize and play mini-games as an embodied avatar.
Okay, so one of the things that we know about Walking in Stations so far is that when it launches, there's not going to be any combat in it. Now, EVE is a very combat-oriented game. For a lot of people, it really is about going out there and blowing up other people's ships.
Right.
So I guess, how do you think that the EVE Online community as it exists today is going to react to having an environment in which they just can't kill anybody?
So let's take it a little bit further and look a little further into the future. My vision for Walking Stations or integrating full-body avatars into the game is like 3 or 5 years' time or whatever. A new player is going to start playing EVE, and he's not even going to realize that it never had people, and it's going to be, I can't believe that game didn't even have people in it. Now, how do we do that? We could introduce a full-blown combat system where you can go and grapple your enemies in the showers in the space station or whatever. But EVE is such a complex and intricate game of power and economy, logistics, and everything that it could seriously hurt the game if we would allow you to just go and kill somebody with a teaspoon, a big alliance leader, the ruler of 5,000 actual players, if you're a new character, and we're not going to do it with like huge armor or it's just it's a delicate little flower, but no, it's a delicate little community. It is, or not a little community, but you get my meaning. So we chose to go down this road to introduce the characters progressively. So the first iteration is going to be about socialization. It's about recruitment and corporations and silly stuff like drinking beer and getting but there's also fun to be had in there, because there's like mini games where you go in and you get gamble against other players and play strategy games against other players, and you can watch people play them, and they're actually quite addictive. They're seriously addictive, and so that's my argument, and I think that in general, if we look at the long-term vision, that this is a much more favorable route to go in than to just throw a new full-body MMO in there with a whole new combat system. And how on earth are you going to balance that with the existing combat system?
Okay, so the decision, I guess, to bring in the avatars. Now, I know it's been a long-standing goal for CCP to sort of have the full-blown sci-fi simulator, something you've been talking about. But is there sort of a hope that bringing this in is going to bring in a new demographic of people that aren't necessarily open to EVE Online right now?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, that's a feedback we get from a lot of people that try the game out. They spend 2 hours in character creation, just crafting their perfect character, and then their character is just this portrait up there, and you can't really like walk around or be that person. However, EVE, I never want to take EVE and like dumb it down and paint it pink and give it to the masses. I mean, it's a complicated thinking man's game, or man or women's game. You know, it's a strategy game. It's got a learning cliff, and what I want to help people understand it, but I think we're never gonna just dumb it down just to get more bodies in through the door. It would be an insult to the existing players and to us. Our ambition is not to do that, but it's just to take what's in there and make it better and then deepen that particular experience.
Okay, well, there are people, when they hear about this project, that they're a little bit concerned that this is sort of an attempt on behalf of CCP to capture the World of Warcraft audience. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, we don't have any elves in there, and there's no pink, and the World of Warcraft audience, I mean, or Warhammer audience. I mean, there's a lot of people out there playing MMOs, and a lot of people actually play a couple of them, and they rest this one and rest the other one. We're not out there for a particular other games audience. We're out there for science fiction fans and people who love playing games against other people and the complex social games and political games that you play on top of the actual kind of combat gameplay. So I would say we're just providing a better service to the general EVE player.
Okay, so I guess the last question I have for you, and it's kind of a wide-ranging one, is how, in the end, I guess, when this does come out, do you expect it to really affect the way that EVE Online is played?
You're going to spend even more time playing it each day. It's going to be less reality, more EVE. No, but seriously, I guess you might find yourself just for example, industrialists in EVE today. Some of them don't even leave station. They buy stuff and they like buy stuff and they manufacture stuff, and that's their game. They log in and they have like buy orders and sell orders and play the market, etc. So we might see play styles emerge where people just hang out within the station and run some missions and do stuff, just talking to other avatars and playing the kind of RPG version of EVE Online, and that's totally okay. But what I really don't want to do is to jam it down anyone's throat, you know, because let's not break a good thing. Just make it better.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.